Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. In this week's video, it's gonna be a little bit of the milk paint that I already had in my stash. I did get some colors that are not my true colors when I got this on its maker's box. So I'm going to use those, and you will see these are the projects that I was working on as I was waiting for my very first Sweet Pickins Milk Paint order as a retailer. So I am trying to make these colors more my style. If you want to see what I come up with, stick around. Before we get started today, this is my little before pile of things that I grabbed from my stash or unfinished projects. So for project number one, I am going to grab one of these little basket boxes that I had painted before. Did not love how it turned out and never put it in my booth. So I'm going to get out the color Basil, which is something I already had. I bought it a while ago from when I used to have a local stockist in Cumming, and I never used it. So I thought, let's see how I like this color. I imagined like a big piece of furniture in this dark green, but clearly I didn't have the guts to mix it up and make it happen. So I am going to do equal parts milk paint powder to equal parts water. Let it sit for 10 minutes until it's the consistency of a milkshake. And you can see I am not going for a total saturated coverage. This is a basket weave on here, and I knew that there was going to be some variation in the color. Now I did 2 coats of the milk paint, and you will see here when I start to use heat, it really does get the paint peeling back from the basket portion. And I kind of just went with that and sanded off any flecks that were coming off. I didn't love how orange the basket was coming through underneath. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of like orange wood in orange baskets. So I decided to try first with the dark oil wax to see if it would richen up that green color, which it really did. That color is a beautiful, rich green color. Just don't know that I love it against the orangey wood. So I am trying to use some scraps here from my ephemeral melange transfer book from IOD, and so I'm putting this as a nice little fun surprise on the inside before I do any oil waxes, because the transfers will not stick down to oil or wax. So I'm burnishing the transfer on with the backer sheet, and then I'm deciding to give the white oil wax a try, thinking that it would change the tone of the orange. It did slightly, but I thought this was a fun little basket. I mean, you can put your little seed packets in here. Wouldn't this be cute to have for storing things? I think it turned out pretty cute. The white oil wax, it was a first use for me, and just saturated it on, and then after 10 minutes I wiped it back, and it definitely added a different tone to this green. Now you guys know once you have a certain amount of that milk paint mixed up, you have to use it all or else it goes hard and goes bad. So I had started this particular box and never did anything with it. So I figured, what do I have to lose? Let's just cover this in the color Basil. And this one I'm just going to keep to just have the dark oil wax on the top of it so that you can see a difference in the tones just with a different finishing coat. I'm going to distress this one back after 2 coats of this, and let me know what you guys think. Do you love this color Basil? And do you like the dark wax or white wax on the top? The next color I'm going to use is the color Willow, and I resisted this color the last time I used it, but I painted a tote with it and had it crackle, and it sold pretty quickly in my booth. So I am going to do this little carrying tote. I've heard that the hearts are back in. I am not putting them in my house, but I will be happy to put them in my booth and see if it works out. So 50-50 mix of water and milk paint. And I do 2 solid coats of it on this wood, and there was a nice little natural crackle that I truly do enjoy, and I wanted to bring that out with the dark oil wax. So after it's dry, I sand it back to get rid of the flakes and to encourage anything aged to be there. And now I'm going to do the oil wax over the top. The trick with milk paint seems to be you have 10-minute timers that you have to set. You leave your oil waxes on for 10 minutes before wiping back. You stir it and let it sit and thicken for 10 minutes. So before I do any oil wax on the back, I decided I wanted to add a transfer. This is from the Catharina transfer book from the newest release, and I do have just a few of those left. Those are sold out to stockists, but there are just a few left on my website at createyourowncozy.com. And then I just burnish it in, and I put the oil wax right over the top of it. I might want to sand specifically that transfer as well, just so it has an aged look to it. And this is a nice little fun, I could see this sitting on a shelf and somebody like styling around it in a cute little cottagecore type home. But it doesn't look like I just painted it, which is why I added the dark oil wax. What do you guys think of this one? If you guys are new here, welcome to Create Your Own Cozy. I would love it if you hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and let me know you are here. Now, this next project, my former self thrifted a very, very long time ago, and my current self is going, I don't even like it. Why in the world did you thrift this? So I'm like, I mean, you can't really ignore the elephant on the latch. So I thought, okay, let's use some clear salvation solution, because this one absolutely looks like a bleeder. I could see those reds coming through any paint that you put on top. So I used clear salvation solution, so if anything, any paint resists, that it would be a wood tone coming through. And then I'm going to use the color denim, because I was thinking, okay, if anyone would use a little elephant tote like this, it would be like in a little boy's room. Now, this particular mix of paint, I made it pretty watery, but you can see here that it still had pretty good coverage once it finally dried. And then when I went over with the second coat, I thought it was pretty good coverage. Since you could still kind of see some of the wood coming through, I did not do any distressing with this one. There was not a lot flaking off. I just went over it with some dark oil wax and thought that it brought the richness out of the blue. I just feel like adding dark oil wax to things, it doesn't just grunge it up, it adds a richness, because you're not letting it be as saturated as it is when you first put it on there. You wipe it back, and there is such a beautiful richness that it adds. What do you think? Do you think that I saved the awkward elephant trunk and it can be used in a little boy's room? Let me know in the comments below. For project number 4, I'm going to use a color that is near and dear to my heart. It's called Sweetie Jane. I have done multiple projects with this color already, and I believe this is my second bag of it. So it's not new to me, but I loved the shape of this particular basket, and I loved these little colors. I thought it would go well with any Sweetie Jane. So I'm doing the same thing with the clear Salvation solution so that we're not going to get any bleeding. Hindsight, I don't know that this one would have bled very much, but this is me just trying to be extra careful. So I'm doing Sweetie Jane, and I am just putting it over the basket. Look at that, it's just such a beautiful color. It's very apothecary color like in the DIY world. So I'm doing 2 coats. I could have gotten away with 1 coat, but that second coat, I just feel like it added a richness on the solid spaces. And I did some sanding with this one, and I decided to use the white oil wax with this one so that it could tone back some of those orangey browns, and I just love this one. It got it. This is me trying to decide not to keep it, right? It did get a transfer on the inside, and I think it will. Especially if I stage it open with some stuff in it, I totally think it could sell. And you know what? I can always make more, right? Like, that's the fun part. I could always find another shape that I like and make more. For my 5th and final project, or I should say 5th and final color, you're getting 2 furs on this one and on the other one. There is a cardboard box where I wet distressed so the grapes could come back through. Guys, I do not like grapes. So I decided, I've used this color before too. I have sold a couple tables and this sweet little kid rocking chair. It's First Crush. It is such a sweet pink. And I am just going to go over this green box. I really loved that when I distressed it, some of that green came back through. It was such a good color to have with the pink. So when you first put your first coat on, there can be like a little bit of a freak out factor, but it is not something. That second coat is really where the richness happens. So I did 2 solid coats. I did add a little bit of a heat gun to see if I could get some crackle. Did another transfer from that Catharina book. Guys, this book is really turning out to be one of my favorites. And distressed the whole box with a 220 grit sandpaper, including the transfer, so that the transfer didn't look like it was just stuck on an old box. And I did add that dark oil wax, and I know it's on top of pink, but I really felt like it made it look like it was found and old, and that pink just has a richness to it now. Oh, also I forgot that I added DIY's clear wax over the top of it first to see if it brought out the crackles enough, and I didn't want the pink to get muddy at all. So adding the dark oil wax on top of that, it was able to sit in the cracks and still have a little bit of show off with the cracks without it being too muddy, if that makes sense. Since I already had some pink paint mixed up, I decided to grab a spindle and do 2 solid coats of the same milk paint. I cut the spindles into 4, and you'll see here that I did the dark oil wax straight over the pink, and it is a darker hue than if I would have done a clear wax prior, but it really showed the crackles. I drilled small holes in the center of each spindle, and then guys, when you see these thrifting, pick them up, and I will link below the metal thing that I am using. I got it at an Amazon return store for $1 for a bunch of them. They retail for way much more on Amazon, but look, I'm just using one of the 100 in the pack, and I can make 3 different things with this one. So because these are metal, I do like to glue and then kind of tap the metal in with the hammer so that they stay still inside the wood while the glue is drying. And then I also like to get the wood Sola flowers and stick them in for this cute little shelf sitter floral and picture holder. I got these little flashcards from my friend Cindy over at Sparka Vintage. She does whatnot sales a couple times a month, guys, and she has so much Jim Holt stuff. So I thought I would get out a word that I'm going to put a price tag on, but I think it'll add such fun to my booth as I'm making these, and a great way to style them up so that people can see how to use them. All right, what did you guys think? I know these colors are not my traditional realm of colors, but I tweaked them a little bit and I made them fun, and hopefully when I put these items in my booth, it'll make somebody's heart happy. And also I worked through my stash of some stuff that I already had, getting ready for some of my favorites. Guys, I know I'm a little late to this party, but the new bespoke collection from Jamie Ray Vintage, those colors are speaking to me. Cheshire, I'm getting a bigger bag. It's coming. The trellis rose and the cobblestone, and you know what, the antique ironstone. These are totally speaking to me. I love the Kent and the hollandaise as well. I'm getting bigger bags of these because I'm like, what am I trying to be like sample bags? Like, these are beautiful colors. So I did already put in another order, which is kind of fun. All these products will be on my website at createyourowncozy.com, and in my booth in Cumming, Georgia. And the Angry Mama's Antiques and Interiors, the Cumming location. I already have the milk paint. It's been super fun because I am a self-proclaimed control freak, and using milk paint is good for me. I don't have control, and I allow a little bit of messy. I allow age and distress, and I really love the look of that. If you don't love the look of that, there's always the ability to add extra bond so that it is less chippy, less distressed. So I love that you can pretend like you control it, right? There's a slight control, but it's fun, and I'm really excited about it. It is a product that I have used for years before I fell in love with DIY paint. So I'm excited to be a retailer of it. I think there is a traditional look to it, and I don't know, it's just really cool. Let me know in the comments below from today's video what your favorite project was or color. And if you are new here, I would love it if you hit subscribe, hit your notification bell to all so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you have anyone out there that you would consider sharing this to that would like my comment, that always helps as well. Guys, I am so thankful you are here. I hope that you find something creative to do that feeds your creative soul, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check me out over at createyourowncozy.com.